All right, let's just jump right in. We're about to dissect a really unsettling figure, a jester who shows up in two very different but weirdly connected ways. First, we're going to tackle the cosmic horror side of things, and then we're going to descend into a philosophy that, I got to tell you, might hit a little too close to home.
So, right off the bat, this isn't some friendly hello, is it? It feels more like a judgment being handed down. He's basically saying that everything we think is important, our whole lives, it's all just meaningless static. And the only real truth left, the empty, mocking laughter of the universe, it kind of sets the stage, right? Our entire existence is being framed as this giant, cosmic joke. So, where does a worldview like that even come from? Well, let's explore this jester's home turf. It's called the architecture of nullity. And yeah, you can forget about any kind of beautiful creation story. This is, well, it's the blueprint for a prison. And here's the kicker. This whole universe, it wasn't made for us. It was designed against us. Imagine some grand architect who built a trap instead of a home. And the whole point of this trap? To make sure we suffer, because our suffering is literally the fuel that keeps this cosmic engine running. And you, your personality, your spark, everything that makes you unique, in this system, that's just a bug in the code, an error that needs to be deleted. And how does this prison correct that bug? Oh, it's a terrifying three-step process. First, you get the all-consuming maw. It's exactly what it sounds like. It just shows up to grind your unique story into uniform dust. Then along comes the Pale Redeemer, offering this twisted kind of salvation. It'll cure you of the sickness of being an individual by turning you into a mindless duplicate. But the last step, that's the real nightmare. The Whispering Seraph convinces you that this whole process, this complete erasure of your soul, is actually beautiful, divine even. It gets you to literally cheer for your own annihilation.
If that's a little too abstract, think about it like this. Imagine a vast library, the Library of Ash. But in this library, every single unique book, every individual story is seen as an imperfection, a bump on the floor. So what's the solution? You don't organize the books, you don't read them, you burn them. You burn them all, until all you have left is a perfectly flat, perfectly silent, and perfectly empty floor. That's the end game here. Total, uniform nothingness. So who is the mouthpiece for this nightmare? It's a prophet, the Sapphire Jester. And he delivers one hell of a sermon, the Gospel of the Belly.
And this is where it gets really personal. The jester looks you right in the eye and tells you that everything you cherish, your name, your memories, your loves, it's not a treasure. It's just looch. It's spiritual energy. It's fuel to be consumed by some monstrous, greedy master. You're not a person. You're just a meal. You're not the diner. You are literally the dinner.
So how does he pull this off? It's not through force. It's way more sinister. He's like a comedian who gets up in front of a starving crowd. He tells jokes that get them laughing at their own hunger. And then, somehow, he convinces them that the punchline, the most enlightened thing they can do, is to willingly become the meal themselves. He makes self-destruction sound like the most rational choice you could possibly make.
Okay, so that's the cosmic horror version. It's bleak, it's terrifying, but what if we've been looking at this all wrong? What if this prophet of total annihilation is secretly a prophet of rebirth? And that question right there, that's where everything pivots. We're about to flip this whole thing on its head, and trust me, this next version might be even more unsettling.
So let's meet Jester number 2. This isn't some cosmic entity. This is a prophet of the depths, a guide for right now, for the modern, disaffected soul. And his big message is that the only path forward is down. You can see his whole journey here. He doesn't start out as some radical thinker. Nah, he begins as this mountain man, a sun worshiper, just soaking up the safe, easy virtues he was taught. But then he descends into the city and delivers a shock to the system. He reveals that this idea of the overman, this self-actualized next stage of humanity, isn't some heavenly reward. It's a terrifying tightrope walk over a gaping abyss. He even embraces a performer's fall as a necessary sacrifice. And that's when he gets it. The crowd, the herd, they'll never understand. So he rejects them and goes off to find just a few fellow creators who are brave enough for the journey.
So what's this jester's goal then?
It's not to destroy existence. It's to take a hammer to our old, comfortable values, to shatter the moral systems that we all just take for granted. And just look at how he does it.
He takes traditional morality, blessed are the meek, blessed are the peacemakers, and he completely flips it on its head. In his morality, he blesses the despisers, the people who can't stand mediocrity. He blesses the shameless, who aren't afraid of their own ideas. He blesses the lonely because they were brave enough to leave the herd behind. This is a morality of dangerous greatness.
And here's the craziest part. When he says goodbye to his followers, he doesn't say, follow me. He commands them, lose me and find yourselves. He's not trying to be a guru. He's demanding they become their own leaders. He offers struggle, not comfort. And his idea of love isn't about two weak people clinging together. It's a love born from an overflowing strength. It is a call for total radical independence.
And all of this builds to his ultimate commandment. Forget loving God or your neighbor first. The highest virtue is amor fati, a terrible love for your own fate. It means you embrace everything that happens to you, especially the suffering and the mistakes. You don't just accept it, you love it, you will it. It's the ultimate act of self-creation, transforming you from a follower of someone else's rules into the creator of your own.
Okay, so we've got two jesters. One is a cosmic destroyer, the other is a radical philosopher. They seem like total opposites, but what if they're not? This is the grand reckoning, where we see they might just be two faces of the exact same entity.
And here it is, the crucial connection. To create anything new, you first have to destroy the old. That horrifying annihilation from the first jester, maybe that's just the necessary first step. You have to burn down the library of your old self, all your comfortable beliefs, all your inherited rules, before you can even begin to write a single new word. The cosmic destroyer is just clearing the stage for the radical creator.
So, in the end, this figure, in both his forms, is a mirror. A dangerous, grinning mirror, held right up to us, to our modern lives. He reflects a truth that is both terrifying and, honestly, kind of exhilarating. In a world where the old values are collapsing, the burden and the absolute freedom of creating new ones falls squarely on our shoulders.
And so, this all leaves you with the jester's final challenge. His message is a poison, a tonic, and a liberation all at once. The mirror is in front of you now, so the question isn't about him anymore. It's about you. What will you do with it? What will you become?